welcome back to my channel. I'm Yoon, and in today's video I will be giving off some YA fantasy book recommendations. I have been wanting to do this recommendation for a while, but I hadn't read enough books to build off a recommendation list, but now I think that I have, so let's get to it. I have 5 YA fantasy books. I hope they're kind of varied enough that it gives you a bit of different books to consider, but let's get into it. I'm going to try my best to really simplify the summary and then give off kind of, if you like these elements, you like this book. Let's get into the recommendations. So first of all, I have Year of the Reaper by Makiia Lucier. I hope I pronounced her name correctly, but this book is about a mystery, and so our main character Cass can see ghosts, and he's been a prisoner of war for 3 years. He returns home only to find out that the state of his kingdom is in chaos, and the reason for that is because people are looking to assassinate the newly crowned queen who married the king. And the reason behind the assassination, and if the assassination itself is successful, it could plunge the 2 kingdoms back into war. So our main character Cass, using his ability to talk to ghosts, to see and talk to ghosts, goes on and investigates in order to find out who and why the queen is being targeted for assassination. And I really enjoyed how the concept of plagues plays a large part in this story. So if you like historical fiction, this is placed in a more historical time. If you like mystery, if you like supernatural mystery, and if you like a capable male main character, this book is for you. I realize I'm not selling a lot of it, but I don't want to spoil it. And I feel like if I were to give more elements, it would be spoiled. Also, it's been a while, so I can't remember all the elements. And this has really touching family moments. It's a lot of character focus on Cass because of how much he's changed due to being a prisoner of war. And yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I really liked Cass's character and Year of the Reaper. The next book I will recommend is Jade Fire Gold by Judy. This one is it's either under the genre or very heavily inspired by either the wuxia or xianxia genre in Chinese fiction. I keep confusing the two, but one of them is like Chinese martial arts with magic, and whichever one that one is, this one is inspired. It's very strong. I think it's wuxia. I'm pretty sure that's also what Fairy Loot said. So it's very wuxia inspired. So there's lots of fighting. There's a lot of magic in here as well. And this story is about 2 main characters. An, who is an orphan, but she possesses a really dark magic, but she wants to find out who her parents were and what her powers mean and what they do. Alton is an exiled prince who was forcefully driven out of both his home as well as his rightful place to the throne, and he is on the hunt for somebody who possesses the dark magic, either to kill her or to use her to both save the kingdom and regain his position as the heir to the kingdom. And so that's basically it. This book was a very fun one. Oh, before I get even further into that, I really do think one good thing about these fantasy books is I think these would be good if you are wanting to get into fantasy for the first time, or if you would just want something nice and easy but also fantasy, because these are all YA fantasy, and they are, most of them All of them except for one confirmed are standalones, so you don't need to dedicate yourself and also your time and memory to an entire series right off the bat. You can just read this one book and then that's it. So continuing on to Jade Fire Gold. So that is the basic premise that I can give you. This one, I think, obviously, if you like wuxia genre or if you like Avatar: The Last Airbender, that this did have very strong Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes. What else happened here? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's also all I can remember. I don't really know how to give recommendations based off tropes, especially since the tropes given here, I personally didn't think that was the case. Honestly, if you like political intrigue, this book has some really good court drama and political tension that was just, oh, I really wish they had delved further into it, but what they did give us was really well done and just so intriguing. Oh my gosh, I'm so curious. But yeah, Jade Fire Gold. If you really like fighting and martial arts with magic, then I think you would enjoy this book. And then next off, I would like to recommend Gallant by VE Schwab. This one, for me, I think was a 4.5. But so this one is about our main character, Olivia Pryor. Oh, this also does have LGBTQ plus representation. So if you also are looking for that, this book has it. This one, our main character is deaf. No. She's mute. Our main character is mute. So there is representation for that. And our main character, Olivia Pryor, she has been staying in a kind of like those schools for troubled girls in the past. And one day she gets a letter from somebody who claims to be her uncle saying to come to their Gallant estate. She goes, however, she finds out that her uncle had been dead for like a year or two, even though this letter got to her recently. And even though her cousin is very adamant that she leaves, she is stubborn in staying because she wants to find out about her parents and also her Pryor lineage. But the thing is, her cousin wants her gone for a reason, and Olivia, while she's trying to figure that out, realizes that there's something much darker within the mansion that is waiting to be released. And it has been waiting for Olivia to come and do so. This book is a Gothic fantasy, very, very well written on the Gothic vibes. This book, however, is definitely more, you're there for the writing rather than the plot, because the plot is very basic, and the characters are not very, they're very flat, but the writing is really the star of the book, and it was just such a bright star. Okay, it was just so well written and just so good at really immersing you into this Gothic, gloomy setting of the story. If you like things like dark things with shadow elements, this book is for you. If you like mystery, if you like gothic genre, this book is for you. If you are a big fan of Coraline, I highly recommend this book. I felt Coraline vibes throughout the entire book, and after I read this book, I wanted to watch Coraline. So if you are a big fan of Coraline, I think you'll really enjoy this book. Do keep in mind though, don't put so much emphasis on the plot or characters, really just immerse yourself into the writing. And then next, which is the only book that is not a standalone, but the sequel is coming out this month, so, and it's a duology, so it's just 2 books, is A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy Island. This book was amazing and so freaking fun. Okay, so to my best ability, I don't remember the character. So our main character, Ning, she runs from home in order to join a competition to become the court, what's it called? I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, so I'm gonna say what the English translation was. Oh, but they don't give me the... So, an apprentice of Shinong magic, please excuse my pronunciation, or I think a master at the very least, to get this medicine that has to heal her sister because her sister is currently dying. Due to this poison tea brick that's been circulating the country, and unfortunately her mom passed away due to it and her sister has succumbed to it, but not yet to the point of death. So Ning takes her, she runs away, goes for the competition to win and get the medicine to help her family. However, once Ning gets there, she gets, I felt really bad for her, but she gets embroiled in all of these conflicts going on. My poor girl, just wants to win the competition, but everybody else is saying no, you're gonna be highly suspicious, you're gonna be under a very keen eye, you're gonna get caught up with everything except being able to win the competition. She hasn't won or anything, like I don't think the reveal came out on that, but all my girl wants to do is win this competition to heal her sister, and everybody else is telling her no. That's basically the plot of the book, but it's just, it's funny in hindsight, but it's just so stressful too. But yeah, so she gets caught up in, of course, competitions like this, you'll have backstabbers, you'll have traitors, you'll have tension because people are cheating, some people are not. People are cheating to either get further in the competition or to get rid of the competition. And along with the very intense competition itself, there is very stressful and tense court drama because of, a lot of things I don't want to spoil. But right now, the acting emperor is the princess, but people aren't happy with that. So while she's trying to maintain this competition, people are trying to either not completely overthrow her, but definitely poke at her position and make people doubt her. And there is this mysterious boy that Ning keeps encountering but is very suspicious. So that is a magic steeped in poison. If you like court politics or political intrigue? Political court intrigue and drama. If you like C-dramas, I feel like this is very strongly C-drama-esque plots and vibes. If you like tea and if you like food, you will like this book because the way the author just writes the food and the way she writes magic and beauty into the already existing beauty of tea steeping and tea brewing, you will really enjoy this book. That was the best part of the book, I will say. If you like pretty but simple and elegant writing, this book is also very much so. If you like magic, especially kind of magical realism in a sense because the magic comes from tea brewing and steeping, you will like this book. If you like Chinese mythology, you will also like this book. So let's see. If you like political court intrigue and drama, if you like tea and food, if you like magical realism, if you like Chinese mythology, and was there anything else I said? And if you like cutthroat competitions, you will like A Magic Steeped in Poison. It was a very, very good and very fun read. One thing I did like about this book is how, because they're in a competition, which is a controlled environment, the world building feels very limited, but you can't really complain because the situation is she is in a competition. There is only so much information that can be fed to us, And it's not like spoon-fed. It's actually really nicely given to us, but obviously very limited. However, I feel like the ending of this book really opened the doors to a more expansive exploration of the world building of both the world itself, the court situation, and like the magic especially. So I think that was a really nice setup. But yes. And for my final recommendation, it is one that I've recently finished and absolutely adored, which is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie. I guess I'll show this one. But so this one is a retelling of the tale of Simcheong, which is a Korean folktale of a girl who jumps into the sea to sacrifice herself to the sea dragon god in order to provide for her father. This one was a highly touching story. Oh wait, I didn't give the proper summary. My bad. So it's a retelling of the Simcheong folktale, in which instead of Simcheong, it's Mina, our main character, who jumps instead of Simcheong. And when she gets to the spirit world, she finds out that the sea god is under a curse. And however, because she is a human who entered the spirit world, she has a timeline of a month before she herself is no longer human. So she has a month, technically less, to not only break the curse, but before she can do that, she really needs to find out everything of what's happened. Why is the sea god under a curse? What is he like suffering? And also to kind of fix the situation that's gone down in the spirit world due to the sea god's curse. So that is the plot of this book. I think, did I say it properly? Anyways, and this book for me is a very meaningful story. I've mentioned it in either my reading vlog or I made a completely different video. I'm not too sure. But, oh, this book is so meaningful to me. But anyways, if you like myth folktale retellings, if you like a strong or firm female main character, if you like Korean folktales or culture, if you like Spirit Away, if you like touching and comforting emotional stories, and if you like stories that are centered on families, relationships, and just people's like their own stories, I think you'll really like this book. This book gives very strong Spirit Away vibes, both the whimsical part of the spirits of the is it the spirit world that Chiharu, where our main character in Spirit Away goes to, plus the comforting vibes that come with other Studio Ghibli movies. This is that book. Very comforting, very whimsical, very magical, and I absolutely love the characters. I think the characters really carry. So if you like a character focused book, I also think you'll like this book, because the characters and their stories, it's just so good. This pair of characters genuinely made me tear up just from their whole story when you find everything out. Oh my gosh, it's just so it's just so touching. And it's emotional, but not in a sad way. It's just in a very touching way. So if you are into the elements or the things I just said, I think you'll really like this book. Seriously, it's so good. It's so good. And yeah, so that is it for the book YA fantasy book recommendations. I hope I've managed to I hope I managed to convince you guys to read at least one of these books. I hope at least one of these books was to your guys' taste. I know a lot of them are like East Asian mythology / retellings, but you know, we have Gothic fantasy, we have a mystery, supernatural mystery, you know what I mean? And yeah, threats of war, if that intrigues anybody. So that is all the recommendations I have for now. I'm currently still reading a lot more fantasies, and I have not yet delved into adult fantasy just yet, but hopefully I have given you guys some more books to consider reading. And that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!